just a good old boy.
Well, hey y'all, it's been a while, a really good while. It's been what, June? Been so busy. It's just the way things are these days, it seems. Hopefully you guys can see. This tractor doesn't really have anywhere to mount a camera, so I had to kind of manufacture somewhat of a mount. I think it'll work pretty good, but it's not like I normally do it, but maybe it'll work. We're gotta fluff some hay. And yes, there's already hay here baled. It's a long story. But I'll tell you all about it here in just a second. So we come up here last week and baled some of this hay, and we were supposed to cut this across the road. This is one of the sections of farm I was talking about last year that we lost. They're going to put 200 homes on, I think it's 60 acres of this farm that was sold, and they're going to put 200 townhouses on this thing, I believe is what I've heard. I mean, you never know till they do it because you hear all kinds of rumors, but from a pretty good source, I've heard that they're putting 200 townhouses on. So yeah, this is going to be very weird for me. I cut here yesterday and it was extremely odd, but they've got even more equipment in here now since yesterday. They come in and they bush hog part of this, but they wanted us to cut the hay off of it to clean it off for when they start grading, so they ain't got to deal with so much grass and sod, because it's a big problem for them if they have to deal with it. So that's why I'm in here. I hope that everybody knows that we're in here, because yesterday I kept getting some funny looks as to what in the world am I doing in here. But the guy that owns the place knows what I'm doing in here, or that's doing this project, so I'm hoping everybody else has either been told or explained what I'm doing. But yeah, we're in here clearing this out. They ain't too friendly, so I don't know why, but they're not. This is the kind of crap I have to deal with. See, she's friendly. At least somebody's nice. But yeah, this is kind of going to be difficult. I don't know exactly how this is going to go, because we got to get this hay out exactly how I came in, which I can get the trucks in and out, but I need to load out right here where all this rock and everything's piled, and I don't know exactly how this is going to go. But there is a little bit of a backstory to this. They wanted us to cut it, then they come in here and started bush hogging. Didn't call to tell us. We called them and said, hey, I thought you wanted us to cut it. And they stopped the people from bush hogging it. And didn't tell us, as far as I know. My grandpa's the one that's been dealing with this, because he leases this particular farm. And we were like, hey, I thought you wanted us to cut this or whatever, and they stopped them from bush hogging it and left this amount. And then they cut a logging road through here when they weren't supposed to, and screwed up the whole field. Then we decided we wasn't going to cut it. Then they got ill because we didn't cut it, and then wanted us to still come in here and cut it. So here I am. I had to cut up to each side of these roads and to get a little bit of hay. I'm telling you, some of the shit, I hate to say it, that my grandpa gets me into sometimes, me and my dad, is unbelievable. But here I am. I got dozers running all around me and working. They're working down there in that bottom right now that used to be trees. I actually used to deer hunt that. It's sad to me. I mean, we've had well, I mean, we still got part of the farm leased, and the only reason it hasn't sold is I got to try to get over these terraces now. I like to start at the top and work my way down, but the only reason the other parts of this farm hasn't sold is because the local government, the city that this is in, does not have the water to do any more development. And it's a huge problem for them. They're going to have to build a water reservoir or work out a deal with somebody to buy more water, and nobody's wanting to do a deal with them because they don't have enough water, because there's been so much development going on in the Atlanta metro area that they're running out of water. But this here is up in the mountains, and they don't have the water up here that they need. All the lower cities is taking it up for development. So that's one thing that's kind of stunted their growth, even though they got good access by highway to Atlanta. It's one thing that stunted their growth as far as moving forward. But all that'll be gone as soon as they get water enough to supply it, because they was going to build houses on it too. It didn't work out. They piled all this mess up here yesterday and cleaned it off after I got done cutting. And it's just a mess. It's a mess. If it had been me, I'd just told the guy just bush hog it. I'm not coming in here, but it wouldn't be. This was my grandpa's deal, so whatever. He wants the hay for his cows, so we'll do what we can. But it's definitely been fun. I'm just hoping that we can get this stuff baled and out before it becomes a problem, because they got a lot of equipment sitting here doing nothing. But this year has just been kind of like this situation. It's just been hell. I mean, there ain't nothing about this year been easy. Really, the last 2 or 3 years has been really hard on us. I mean, we went from my grandmother having a lot of health problems and trying to redo the house or remodel the house to add bedrooms for my twins that we had 3 years ago. We went through all that and dealing with all that mess to last year. We lost a ton of land to development, and that we'd had leased for 30 years, in some cases longer than that. And there's no land around us to rent to make up for it, so we're kind of in a box. And it's been a struggle trying to find more land and trying to survive. And then we've been fighting all that and dealing with other things that I don't want to talk about right now. And just a little bit of everything. And then this year that was last year. And then this year, everything went right as far as the hay and the equipment and everything last year, and then this year it's just been a battle. Every piece of machinery we have has broken in some way or another, whether it was a minor failure or a major failure. And it's just crazy fluke stuff. This just doesn't make sense. Like the Klaus round baler, we were out $4,000 and something fixing it because I had some net right up one of the belts on it and wrap around a belt divider and a roller, that one of the drive rollers that drives the belts, and it cinched the net so tight within, it didn't have hardly any net on it. It was just like, basically it didn't tie one time, and we didn't catch it that it was up in the top of the machine because you can't see it. It's not like you can look up in there. The belts, it's kind of where the belts pull down and it goes back up, and it's kind of in that area where in the front of the balers where they typically, in between the belts where they go like this, and you can't see it. And it got in there and it cinched down and bent the divider into a rubber coated roller that's used to drive the belts, and ripped the rubber off the roller and bent the shaft that runs through the roller. And by the time we got everything put back together and fixed, it was about $4,000 and something just on that one thing. It was just a fluke thing. And I mean, it's just been one hit after another like that this year, and it's just been it's definitely been one of the most trying years that I can remember equipment wise.